As we finish up our chart using Microsoft PowerPoint, one of the assignments you have is to create a line chart for some type of food consumption here in the United States, or you can do some food consumption somewhere else in the world if you would like. So I've got a little example here to show you how I came about getting this information and to talk a little bit about a line chart and the primary purpose of a line chart that are very useful for demonstrating how things change over time. And so generally a line chart follows the format that you will have time on the x-axis, and in my example here we have our years on the x-axis, and my particular study here is from 1965 to 2015. And then on the y-axis you will have that which you are recording or studying. And so for this particular one, I've chosen to take a look at beef consumption per capita or per person for selected years here in the United States. So the pounds of beef that a person would eat in 1 year. And that information came about, the first thing I did is I went to a website. I did a search for a table on beef consumption, and I ended up actually over at, let's see if I can bring it here. I need to get this out of my way. Ended up finding this over at the National Chicken Council. And so there were some facts and figures about the industry, and I looked up some statistics and found per capita consumption of poultry and livestock 1965 to estimated 2016 in pounds. And so this particular table has a lot of different information: beef, pork, total red meat, chickens, turkey, fish. And so what I did is I decided to focus on beef. And then I don't want to put all of these years in here, but I wanted to show the trend over a fairly long period of time. So I decided to start in 1965 and then just go up 1965 and 1970, 75, all the way up to 2015. So I just selected those particular years out of all of these and then plotted that or recorded it here on the data table. There's pounds per person, and there's the pounds, and then I put those years here. And then it created that nice chart for me. And so you can see we have a line chart here, and over time we show that people were eating more beef between 1965 1975, and then for some reason beef consumption dropped off significantly. And that, of course, would invite further research, which we are not doing here. But the purpose of line charts is to demonstrate something that has occurred. Certainly, that's interesting to find out why it dropped that much in those years from 75 to 1980. Big 5-year drop. Rebounded a little bit, and then took another big drop, and then just a slow trend since 1990. Beef consumption falling off. Now, there could be a variety of reasons for that. Maybe beef is too expensive. People's incomes are going down. Maybe there's health concerns. At times, celebrities may come out and say negative things about a product. I recall a time when Oprah was not in real favor of beef and the beef industry. And so people's choices just tended to change over time. And so, once again, this just invites further research. And at some point, if you were doing a study on this, you would use this information to give a little bit more meaning to why this line is decreasing. So go online and search for a table that has information that you can use to put into a PowerPoint chart. And remember, you're looking for changes over time for your particular food product. Make sure your graph has a title. Often good to have a legend. Make sure you have a title on your x-axis and a title on your y-axis. And of course, you are welcome to use a chart that is a little more stylish than that which I have here. And so there you go. Have fun doing a search. Do something that you might actually be interested in as far as some particular food. And see if you can learn something through the process here. It's always interesting to see how things are changing over time here in our country, especially with respect to food and with all of the issues with healthcare and concern about GMOs and organic food. It's a big part of our lives and a big part of society, especially with respect to healthcare and the increasing costs of healthcare. So, in fact, a lot of studies are done that affect laws here in our country. And right now, as I make this recording, there's some legislation in California to implement a tax on sugared drinks. And so you might think about that and whether or not we should be taxing people based on the amount of sugar that they consume. So anyway, have a good time with that, and I'll look forward to seeing your charts.